There are a lot of questions about, from you about, dating back to January, saying you were going to return, not going to return, then eventually transferring. What was the thought process in all of that and ending up here?
I just felt comfortable coming here. Sat down with my family, made that decision, and came on to visit up here. I just felt comfortable up here.
But going back to, you had the decisions to make about whether to play the fourth year at all or whether to go into the NFL draft, and you kind of went back and forth on that. What was going on there?
It was mostly a family decision, and I wanted to graduate too, so that was the most important thing. But that was a family decision.
You said you felt comfortable here. How much of that comfortability came from your prior relationship with Dana Holgorsen, the fact that he, helped get you to Houston in the first place?
That played a big part too. I'm familiar with the offense already, so that played a big part.
How good of a fit is this offense for your game specifically?
I've basically been running offense since my freshman year. It just different terminology I gotta learn, but it's basically the same.
Have you kind of picked up right where you left off when you were a freshman with Coach Holgorsen?
I picked up everything, just different terminology you gotta learn. It changed stuff up every now and then. Just gotta pick up on the little things.
You obviously hear a lot, especially in the last few years here at West Virginia, that the quarterbacks and the receivers in this offense, but the running backs sometimes take a back seat. But clearly, in the past, your freshman year, for example, if you got a running back there who can carry the load, you can put up big numbers. Where do you see your role with this team, I guess, right now, especially the fact that quarterback and wide receiver is not a position that has experience coming back right now?
I just want to make plays, just get put in a position to make plays, help the team out. Whatever I can do for the team, that's fine with me.
How big of a factor is health for whether or not you're going to have a real impact?
That's the most important thing. You want to stay on the field. One, be able to make plays. That's the most important thing. Stay on the field.
Talk about terminology and stuff that's different here. Do you feel like a veteran when you come here, or do you feel like a rookie because you're new to West Virginia?
You're just learning, not just learning. You just learning,
Did Dana play a role in getting you to Houston?
Yeah, somewhat.
Tell me a little bit about that, and then tell me how that worked into them doing it again.
First, I was getting recruited from Tech. Dana had doing that pass year. Dana was at Tech at first, but he was at Houston. So it was between the Tech and Houston. And I coming to Houston.
Was he the main reason, or was there other things that got you to Houston?
Offense-wise, yeah. Like offense.
And so now 45 years later, you're coming here. And what do you do to sell you on coming here rather than going somewhere else?
I'm familiar with the offense. I'm comfortable with the offense. So that was the main reason.
Well, you're being comfortable with the offense is one thing. We got to be comfortable with the surroundings of your teammates and stuff. I know when talking to Dustin and some of the other guys, they said that you came right in and they didn't feel like you were some superstar or anything like that. You were just another guy. How well have you blended with the rest of the running back room?
Pretty good group. Pretty cool. We get along. We push each other. Make each other better.
Charles, you've played 3 years and 4 down at Houston. You've done some good things, and you could have gone into the draft this year. You elected to try it somewhere else, presumably on a higher level. What is it you feel like you have to prove, if anything?
I thought I needed another year, just to improve myself.
In what ways?
Just everything,
Is the competition that you're going to be facing this year, was that a big factor in it?
No.
Really? Because you could have spent another year at Houston, in Conference USA, and now basically do you look at this as a step up?
It is a step up.
Yeah.
Big 12, bigger, faster, bigger conference.
I mean, do you look at that and say, well, I want to prove myself on this level?
Oh yeah, you can say that. You can say that.
I'd rather you said it.
Well, yeah.
Charles, what do you feel you have to prove? I mean, you've done pretty much everything that you could do at least at Houston.
I'm trying to see how I answer that.
Just whatever comes in your head. I mean, is there something, and who do you have to prove it to? I mean, in your mind, do you prove it to yourself?
Just prove it to
or
myself. That's about it. Just prove it to myself.
When you say you needed another year before trying the NFL, is that you didn't feel you were ready, or you?
Just things I can improve on. It's just some things I can improve on.
Where do you see yourself fitting in the NFL? Wide receiver, running back, slot back, defensive tackle? I mean,
Really don't have a receiver, kick return, running back,
whatever they ask.
whatever they ask me to do, man.
Did you actually visit Morgantown before deciding to come here?
Yeah, I was on. I actually committed on my visit.
Do you remember what your impressions were coming into
I
town?
just felt comfortable. You know, just felt comfortable with everybody. You know, I hung out with some of the players. Just felt comfortable.
I mean, it's not Houston though, right?
No, it's quite different. You got to adjust to certain things.
How close do you live to campus in Houston, or did you live on
I
campus?
stayed like 10 minutes away. You know, I'm from Houston, so I stayed like 10 minutes
So
away.
you never got caught in traffic? Trying to
Man,
get
that's crazy down there. Traffic down there is crazy.
just waiting another 3 weeks here, man. It'll be like Houston light.
Yeah, they told me. They was crazy.
What about the summer? I was in Dallas twice this last month. It was 100 degrees.
Oh, it's crazy. It get hot. I mean, this weather down here is nothing. You know, I can go all day in this weather. Down there,
Makes Dallas look cold.
105, 110.
Did you notice that? Getting outdoors and working outside?
Yeah, it is just different. Man. It's different.
Mosquitoes in Houston bigger than running.
When you look at the Big 12, are you thinking about playing in front of 80,000, 90,000 people every week versus that Houston it might happen once or twice a year?
It's going to be a great experience. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a different type of experience. I'm looking forward to it.
When you first met these guys and started working out with them during the summer, did you get a sense that, oh man, the defensive linemen at Houston were 6'1" or 6'2", and here they're 6'4", 6'5"?
That's the big thing. You know, it's different type of, you got it's bigger people, big guys.
Type of running back competition too?
We all compete, just pushing each other.
How do you come into this situation and not try to seem like a big time guy? I mean, was there anything you did specifically to try to tell these guys, look, I'm just here to work and do that, or were they so accepting that it didn't matter?
I mean, we just get to the point where we push each other, keep each other going. One of us mess up, pick each other up.
What about Coach Sider? How's he doing?
Coach Sider pretty cool. Good guy.
What makes him a good guy? He seems pretty nice. But
Laid back, I like that.
Charles, are you normally this reserved, or are you just worried about rubbing somebody the wrong way?
Oh man, I'm just a laid back, quiet type guy. I just don't.
Is there more when you started here than there ever was at Houston? You having 24, or I don't know what it was. 15.
This is a small group.
you'd be getting the Geno treatment before it's all over.
Oh man.
Charles, they've had a handful of Division I transfers here this summer. Even the past couple years too. Is there something, and that's different than when you recruit out of high school, but to do something particular to appeal to a certain thing or what you're looking for that maybe explains how they've gotten so many of these guys to come from one school to the other?
Say that. Can you rephrase it?
I probably could. Recruiting in high school is different than trying to get a transfer, right? How do they, I guess, how would you explain based on your experience, how they've gotten you, how they've gotten Clint, Shell, guys like that? Just is there something that a button they press maybe that kind of makes you open your eyes and say, what I want is here, what I didn't have?
I just it's making you feel comfortable. You got to be comfortable. You know, that's the most important thing. You got to be comfortable.
How do they do that here? 'Cause it's hard, right? It's a different
It's
environment.
just a different environment. I mean, you got pretty good coaches, man.
Yeah.
That make you feel comfortable.
And I guess they had to sell you on the fact that you're no longer going to be playing down the street from where you grew up.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. You gotta get used to being away from home. The good thing about it is, you know, I experienced it already. You know, I spent 4 years in college, and you know, getting away from home. I thought it was gonna be hard at first, but at the same time, it's not. You know, I'm used to it now. So
Is it easier now than it would have been when you were
Yeah.
18 trying to do
yeah,
it?
it's easier now. I mean, I probably would have had a hard time at 18. You know, getting away from home for the first time, but this is my first time. It's pretty easy.